Hello everybody, welcome to our webinar this afternoon. I'll wait a couple of minutes, or probably just 1 minute, until everybody joins. We've got a welcome there in the chat. So if you are with us today and you'd like to say hello, please do. It's always lovely to hear from someone to say hello to us, which is always really nice. So just say hi and where you're from if you want to share anything about yourself. So I'll start now, if that's okay. I'm Esther Chesterman. I'm the CEO of the National Extension College, and I'm delighted to be joined by Gemma Standen. And Gem's waving there. Gem is the Widening Participation Officer at University of East Anglia. And we've been partnering with UEA for a number of years now, offering these information sessions. And we're really pleased that over the years, we've had a number of NEC students who have applied and joined Gem and her team at the UEA, which is wonderful. So the session is an information session, as I said. I'll be presenting a little bit of information about the NEC, as well as what distance learning looks like, and also around applications through a distance learning college such as NEC. Hello everybody who's saying hello, lovely to hear from you. And then Gem will be presenting more from a university perspective. So what the application process looks like from their perspective, which is really useful for you to understand. You send your application off to UCAS, and then it's interesting to know what happens then, and a little bit more about how the universities look at those applications. So we'll go through who we are, a little bit about courses, choosing the right courses and the sorts of university entry requirements, how applications with a distance learning college work from an NEC perspective, and then Gem will come in around that transition to university and the sort of help and support that can be offered. So who are we? And also a little bit, what is a distance learning college? So we've been in operation for 60 years and initially started as a correspondence college. That's in the old term, just writing, lots of paper and writing. We're now an online distance learning college, so students who enrol with us have access to a breadth of material that they use to study their A-levels or GCSEs, and we do functional skills and some other vocational courses as well. And it's useful to just assure students who perhaps are unsure what distance learning looks like and are thinking of how to progress with their A-levels. Distance learning A-level is exactly the same as other forms of A-level. We work with the same exam boards and we deliver the same learning. It's just in a way that's more flexible. Perhaps your school doesn't offer the qualification that you're looking for, the subject, or you're out of school and you're looking to improve your knowledge and skills in a particular area, but have commitments, life commitments, such as family, work, or you're caring. So it just gives that flexibility, and we've been operating in that way, as I said, for a number of years. We're more than just delivering information for the courses. We have a number of what we call our career tracks, and we've been updating these recently. And they really give you an oversight of some of the core careers that students may be looking to move into. We're always adding more. So there's a career, perhaps if you're on the chat now and there's an area that you're interested in moving into, pop that in, because it gives us a little bit of thinking around what other career tracks might be useful. They're quite, not large documents, but they're quite sort of robust. They have a lot of information. We pass them by partners who are in that sector, and they're really useful for you to look at the different options that may be routes into careers, because there's often many different routes that you can take towards a career, and it will help you understand whether that career is right for you. But taking a step back helps you think about which A-levels and GCSEs might be useful if you've really got your heart set on a specific career. So it will just help you understand what the admissions officers in a certain course and faculty will be looking for from an A-level perspective. Just as I'm working through the slides, and as Gemma's as well, if you have got any questions, please do write them. We'll either pick them up at that moment, if that's appropriate, or we'll have a Q&A session at the end. So when you're, as well as looking at things like a career track or careers advice, there's lots of other resources that you can use to have a think about the types of qualifications you need to move into a career that you're interested in. And then from that, there's also information around, well, which university is right for you. We're lucky to have a representative from a university today, but all universities, as Jen will say, very different. They have different feeling when you go there. They have obviously different specialisms, but also you just get a feel for whether the environment and the support that's on offer at that particular university is right for you. So if you're already a student with NEC, you can obviously use our online platform to look into a variety of different support aspects around courses and progression. But there's a range of different aspects that you can look at that is external, as well as people you know, partners or your family, and also friends. Just gather as much advice and information as you can. We're very lucky that we have a broad range of students who study with us, from mature students, such as and these stories are all available on our website, so hopefully it will inspire you, and also you'll be able to see somebody similar to you or on a similar journey to you, and see what they've achieved looking at studying in a more flexible and different way. So we have Vivian here, who is a mature student and was looking to move forward in a different career, and studied with NEC, her A-levels, so that she could sort of move on to university. Then we have Izzy, who's studying an arts dance diploma, but also wanted to have a backup, as she calls it. So she's doing an A-level in physics with us, so she has that flexibility. And then Amy, who has now moved on to medicine at university, needed to be homeschooled herself and found the flexibility of A-levels delivered in the way that NEC does really useful for her and her journey. So a real variety of reasons why a learner and a student would choose to study distance learning. As well as all the support that you receive at NEC, we've also recently added what's called Super Curricular. It's a module on our learning platform, which is completely free for all our students. And the reason I'm flagging it here is it's not only there to support students in their study and their well-being and their understanding of aspects around their academic journey, but it also offers some really good resources around how to just boost your learning and your application. So you can see on the right-hand image there, we've got different NEC courses that you could take that would boost your application, such as critical thinking, problem solving. We have NEC seminars and masterclasses. We do workshops with the Royal Literary Fund, all things that you could put onto your application that you've taken part in. We have free mentorship programs with medic mentors, law mentors, who also do a lot around all the allied sciences. So there's a really good free mentor program there, and you can join online workshops and online work experiences through different hospitals. So they're very useful as well. And then we've linked in other external resources. So one of the issues I think that some people think, well, if I'm on an online distance learning course, I'm not gaining the college support, the school support that's there, that if I was in a traditional mode of learning. And we've tried as much as we can to give you all those opportunities so that your application is as full as someone who was studying in a slightly more traditional way. So I'm going to introduce Kirsten now, who's one of our course advisors, one of our student support staff, but also is our UCAS lead. So Kirsten is our UCAS expert, which has been very useful recently because UCAS has had a couple of changes over the year. And Kirsten's just going to run through 3 slides, just explaining a little bit about the application process for somebody who's studying at a distance with NEC. Hi, Kirsten.
Hello there, Esther. So, as Esther says, I'm part of our student services team, and I do help look after all of our students who are going through the university application process. Obviously, the first port of call will be the UCAS website itself, which has a huge amount of information for your support there on the different kind of courses available, the different routes available, and so much more. From an NEC point of view, we are able to support our students with predicted grades and academic references for those university applications. And we have a dedicated section on our learning platform for the applying to university process, where we take you through the whole application process step by step. And we're also more than happy to have a chat to you or your parents on the phone to help you navigate how that works. So part of that process is the personal statement. And we do offer a personal statement review service as part of the UCAS process. So there's a huge amount of information on the UCAS hub to help you get started with that. But once you've got to the stage where you feel you're really fairly happy with it, then we can link you with one of our tutors who is hopefully a subject specialist for the area that you're looking to apply for, and they can help you fine tune that statement before you make that final submission. This is just a reminder for you of the UCAS deadlines, which you'll be working to, and also to point out that we do have internal NEC deadlines that we ask students to abide by, simply so that we have plenty of time to help you get those predicted grades and reference comments into your application before you need to submit it to UCAS.
Wonderful, thank you, Kirsten. So that's the end of the part around the National Extension College, but hopefully it also gives students an understanding of how a distance learning provider could work and meet the needs that you have for flexible online learning. I'm now going to pass over to Gem, who, as I said at the beginning, is going to take us through a little bit regarding how the university operates from an admissions perspective. Hi, Gem.
Hi, Esther. Thank you so much. And yeah, it's so nice to always be invited to come and present with you guys. I'm a huge fan of distance learning and flexible modes of delivery for all students. As Esther kindly introduced me, my name is Gem. I work at the University of East Anglia in the Outreach Department, supporting students to consider university. That's quite holistic. I am paid by UEA. Obviously, I love it when people come and join us, but my role really is to talk about university holistically, as I've mentioned. So I'm not here to convince you that we're the best option. I'm here to just promote you considering your options and really looking at those. As Esther highlighted earlier, there are lots of different ways that you can study at university. Some universities offer quite hybrid teaching. If you're still interested in continuing distance learning, you can do that at higher education level through the Open University or Arden University. Apologies, my front door has just rang. I am just going to say, it's a delivery guy, I'm sorry. Of course, you know, online things, there's always going to be something, and I didn't know that we were expecting anything.
That's fine. Thank you. We all now want to know what you've had delivered, but you can keep that.
I don't know. But hey ho, can't have been that important, especially if I don't know what it is. But anyway, as I've mentioned before, the university process and everything is really taken care of by the National Extension College. They will help you with the application side of things, but it is very much up to you to explore and research what you would like to go on to do next. And you can lean on people like me within universities. Admissions teams as well are always really happy to help people and answer questions as well. So again, if you take anything away from this today, please know that universities love to help people, and we want to hear from you. But yeah, it is really perfectly normal and reasonable to have questions or concerns about going to university. I know for myself, I was the first in family. I was a mature student. I had caring responsibilities when I went to university. And I had a lot of questions about how to manage it all and what support was available and that type of thing. So that's really what I'm going to focus on through my slides here. And as Esther said as well, we really promote questions. So if you do have anything that's popping up as we're presenting, do just pop it in the chat and we can address them either as we go along or at the end. Now, universities will differ in the types of support that they offer to people. I'm going to highlight what I know, which is UEA. But again, if you are considering other universities, please get in touch with them directly. Now, I appreciate this might be a bit in the distance for some of you, particularly if you are currently sort of year 12 or in the first year of your studies. If you are in the process of transitioning into a university course, you might have some real drive to prepare for study. And, you know, that's perfectly reasonable. It's perfectly normal. And actually, a lot of the things that you've been practicing with the National Extension College are perfectly reasonable in terms of preparing you for your course. The curriculum that you've been learning will prepare you for your higher education level course. But normally, if you are on the transition to university, if there's anything that you need to do to prepare for your course or to get anything in place to meet the conditions for entry, then the university or college that you're applying for will be in touch with you directly to let you know. Okay, so don't panic would be my first piece of advice. You will no doubt be receiving quite high volumes of emails from universities that are sort of showcasing support and things like that. It can get a bit overwhelming, but I suggest if you can, putting a little bit of time aside each week to maybe go through those emails and picking out anything that you think might be particularly useful or relevant to you and your circumstances. There are other things you might want to do to prepare as well. We, for example, have a free Preparing for University, we call it a MOOC, that stands for a Massive Open Online Course. So again, it's like a distance learning course that you can do for free through FutureLearn website. And this is a 6-week course that you can do in your own time that just provides you some insight and allows you to practice some of those skills that you've been well already exercising throughout your time in education so far. But it can keep you warm in the summer period between completing your qualification and then starting at university. I know before I started my master's 2 years ago, I took this course as I promote it quite a lot. I thought it might be a useful insight to see actually what I'm promoting. And I found it really, really insightful to a degree. Actually, I learned things from completing my undergraduate degree 20 years ago. So I really do recommend it. FutureLearn also has other university-led courses as well. So if you do want to just maybe dip your toe in a little bit to see if the type of subjects and topics covered by certain universities is for you, it's a really nice, easy way of potentially sort of exploring some of those subjects in more detail. In the time that we have, I thought it'd be really useful to give you an idea as well as the type of services available at universities. Now, again, this is our structure at UEA, but every university will have their own support service. And this is usually one of the biggest divisions within a university because we want to help our students get in to the courses and obviously get on whilst they're here. So you've obviously met the lovely Kirsten, and she's here to help you whilst you're studying at National Extension College. This is our kind of version of what National Extension College are offering you. So as you can see, our division is split into 3 main areas, which include student wellbeing, student life, and learning enhancement. I've already touched a little bit on sort of learning enhancement. That's very much along the lines of the type of support that Kirsten offers as well, like what she was signposting to, some of the things around academic writing skills, maybe finding peer-assisted learning, help with maths and stats if you're on a course that is quite hefty in the sort of science side of things, which admittedly I won't touch with a barge pole because I am not that way inclined, and English language support as well for anyone who might have English as a second language. Student Life team are really there to help people navigate studies. So if you are, for example, coming out of distance learning to go to an in-person taught institution, you might need some help just sort of navigating things a bit more. And that's absolutely fine. Again, we've all come from sort of different backgrounds. We're a diverse group of learners within university. But they can help you navigate things like student finance, residential life, help students that are living on campus as well to sort of get used to sort of maybe living in a different environment, or networking, or helping to mediate any sort of little bickers between flatmates if that unfortunately occurs. But they also provide specific support for international students as well. So there's a lot of help available. But well-being, I've sort of saved to last really to talk about the fact that we do have a lot of support available to help signpost people to long-term support. So you've got that wraparound support around your time in university and on your way out. But we also have those sort of crisis management things as well as the long-term management things. In terms of the crisis management things, we've got things in place to help students with some flexibility around assessments if they're having a hard time or something's happened that's interrupted your studies. Over to the sort of things that help you build coping strategies to manage your well-being, particularly when things might get stressful around assessment periods and that type of thing, or exams. The team also manage disability support as well. So if you do have a diagnosed long-term health condition, disability, or specific learning need, then we can help put plans in place to manage your time at university. Because ultimately nobody should struggle whilst they're studying, and if there are things that providers can do to help you, they will do that. So don't be afraid to address those things with providers. And actually, a lot of universities will provide specific assessments for students with learning disabilities. So we've had lots of students that I work with who are mature, who are in their 50s and 60s, learning that they're autistic or have ADHD and all of these types of things, and sort of, you know, learning about the way they learn in relation to their specific learning needs. So yeah, there's a hell of a lot of support available. Do not be afraid to ask for it. Again, this is something that as a fee-paying student, you're paying toward as well. So it's well worth your time and energy learning about these types of things at the universities you're looking at, and how they can work with you to ensure that your time in your studies is as enjoyable as possible. Now, ultimately, that was quite a broad range of support services in schools study. We also have specific support through personal advisors. So at UEA, we have allocated advisors, or an academic advisor, as we call them. And these are individuals within your school of study who are there as a point of contact for you if you have any questions relating to study or signposting, or the wealth of services that I just showed you. Because again, at times where you might be feeling overwhelmed, that might seem like a lot. So there's lots of staff available to help you slot in what would be most helpful depending on your situation. Through this, you can get signposted to relevant study materials, services, incentives and opportunities to help you make the most of your time at university. And again, by utilising teams like the Learning Enhancement team, you can learn certain skills, coping strategies to manage your studies alongside other things that you've got going on. So again, to use myself as an example, I've been managing a full-time job alongside a part-time master's over the last 2 years, and I've been working with the Learning Enhancement team to learn how to use statistical software on one hand, and on the other hand, how to improve my academic writing so I can get better grades. So again, this is where you can really start to build your own strategies to find what works for you. Each of our schools has an embedded support service team member as well. So again, that sort of holistic support really comes into play. And in terms of finding academic resources and things like that, we also have academic librarians who specialise in subjects to help you source information and find your way through your studies as well. So like, there are lots of bricks, I suppose, really, if you think about this like a game of Lego, that you can build your own you can build your own house essentially out of, depending on what parts and what bricks you would most like to use. I'm aware of time, so I just really wanted to touch upon the sort of extracurricular activities, and this kind of really leans into the stuff that Esther was saying about in terms of boosting your learning, some of that extracurricular stuff that might well help your CV look as shiny and special as you would like it to get the careers that you're hoping to get from your studies. But the student union are there essentially to advocate on behalf of students, hold the universities responsible for decisions they make, but they also provide a lot of help and advice. So the main thing I really want to point out on this slide is the fact that they've got help with accommodation, disability support, as well as wellbeing support as well. So there's a hell of a lot of things you can do with these guys. And with the extracurricular stuff, there's lots of clubs and societies. I think we've got about 260 altogether now, which is a massive amount of things that you can sort of dip into or take part in more long term, depending on, again, what you're looking to get out of these things. So my last couple of slides really are just for signposting. Oh, I forgot this one. Sorry, Esther. Buddy SU as well. If you are joining UEA, please look at this on the UEA Student Union website. It's a buddy scheme that's essentially there to help students transition into their course and provide them with that sort of peer-to-peer led support. This is where you can email somebody or perhaps meet up with them to ask questions and help you settle into your course. And our student union offer a matching service that you can sort of say, I'd rather be matched with somebody who's got caring responsibilities or as a mature student or as a commuter, for example, and they will do their very best to match you with somebody who's got a shared experience with you. But in terms of resources and contacting me, I appreciate this has been a bit of a whirlwind talk with an interruption in the middle. You are very welcome to get in touch with me or have a look online. We've got a lot of resources on our resource centre, which I've linked on this page. This is quite similar to what Kirsten was signposting you to on the National Extension College, but on here as well, we've got videos from students who are talking about particular subjects. If anyone's thinking about studying medicine, there's resources about the UCAT on there as well that you might find useful. So please do bear that in mind. And then finally, if you do want to contact me, my information is on this slide as well, which you can see in the recording. You can book an online meeting with me or drop me an email. So don't be afraid if you have got any questions. Otherwise, that leaves a couple of minutes, I think, for Q&A. Sorry, Esther.
No, that's perfect. Thank you, Gem. Lots to cram in, but hopefully it's given our listeners and viewers a little bit of an understanding of the range of support that university can offer. So it's debunking that whole aspect of you sort of on your own when you go to university. And it is a space to learn and to become more independent potentially, but it's not you're not doing it on your own. You're doing it with all the support around you. So thank you. So as Jen said, just an opportunity for any questions. We've got one from Noor. Hi, Noor. What's the difference between a normal undergraduate course and a foundation year? Do they have any different entry requirements? Is that anything that you can help with there, Jen?
It is, yeah. I'm a huge fan of foundation years. Ultimately, if you meet the main entry requirements for a degree, you may not need to do a foundation year. A foundation year, however, is a sort of preparation year for students that don't quite meet the entry requirements for the main degree or might have had a break from education. So quite often we'll have mature students that will come through foundation year if they've been out of education for, say, 5 or more years. They basically add a year, typically, to a degree. And allow you to settle in whilst sort of learning more of those skills and information around the services that we've just discussed a few moments ago. What I really rate about the foundation year as well is it provides you the opportunity to explore the adjoining pathways. So, for example, if you were to study English literature or the foundation year at UEA, in your foundation year, you could potentially look to progress on to English literature and film, or you see what I'm saying? It gives you the opportunity to sort of look at the adjoining subjects as well. So it's good if you don't know wholeheartedly what main degree you want to do and you need a little bit more time to decide those things, but it also allows you to practice those skills. They do have slightly different entry requirements. The foundation year typically have lower entry requirements than the main degree programme. So if you are worried that you're not going to meet the entry requirements of the degree that you're thinking about, it's definitely worth exploring a foundation year to add to one of your options on UCAS. So you've got that to fall back into as an insurance choice potentially later on.
That's very good advice. Thank you. And a great question. Thank you, Noor. As any others are thinking about questions, I just wanted to touch on the aspect around when the application goes off to the admissions officers, and if a student has a particular, thank you Lila, has a particular additional need, how is that approached by the admissions officers when they're looking at applications, Gem?
Sorry, come off mute there. So in terms of the entry requirements, the personal statements and everything are sort of beared into consideration. If you're made a conditional offer, for example, if you don't quite meet the entry requirements, the admissions team will typically look at other options for you before rejecting. They don't want to make anyone unsuccessful. Universities do want applicants, so it's always worthwhile inquiring alternatives with universities as well, from my perspective, and seeing also what might be available. I've just seen the question.
Yes, Lila, I was going to come to that in a minute. So Lila's asking, Lila, I believe you must be an international student. So looking about applications for scholarships, when's a good time to apply? It's an area we've not talked about before, actually, Jem. Is that something you can speak on, or is that something that you can signpost Lila to?
It's not an area of my specialism, but I have a whole massive team of people who have lots of different specialisms in terms of different countries at the university. So if you were to look at University International or UEA International team, there is specific agent support as well as bookable meetings where you can chat through scholarships and funding opportunities for students. Universities will also have scholarship pages that you can utilize to start shortlisting what scholarships you're interested in, so you can apply for those. They each have different opening and closing times, so if you shortlist any of the universities that you're considering, you've got plenty of time then to approach those scholarships and meet the criteria of those scholarships. There is a really brilliant free resource called Scholarship Hub. So if you are looking at multiple different universities, you can use that to look at multiple universities in comparison to one another as well, which I think is a really good tool.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jem. You said at the beginning you're holistic, so there you just demonstrated that holistic way you're looking at supporting students to move to university. So I don't think we have any more questions for today, but lovely that you've shared your contact details. So I'm sure you'll welcome people getting in contact with you if they have any specific questions they might not want to share here. Thank you all for joining. Thank you as always, Jem. You can go and retrieve your package now. And we look forward to catching up with students who progress. It's A-level results tomorrow. And obviously we have GCSE results next week when students will be considering their progress. So it will be good to hear from anybody who does move forward to university and has enjoyed the session. Thank you again, Jem, and have a lovely rest of the summer.
Best of luck, everybody. Take care.
Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.